Okay. Hello, this is Gaming Will 896.
And Kyron the Siren.
Okay, so we're going to discuss the development of Dat Hunting and Lefty's Detention. Okay, so let's begin.
So, this basically all started back around 2020, 2021. And I decided to get some plushies, and I got a Lefty and a Puppet plush. And it was recently just after Christmas, so I decided to get a Grogu plush. And I got it, and I liked it, and I was with my father at the moment. And me and William knew from advance that we knew each other from a long time ago. And I filmed one. He saw it on YouTube, and he really liked it, and he decided to call me up and asked if we wanted to do something together. So me, him, and our other buddy, Eric, who was in part 4, if you haven't watched yet, we all got together, and we developed Lefty's Detention. And I came up with the name at first, and it was one of the first creations we actually done together. That was my first creation, at least. William actually done some things before that, if he'd like to explain that to you now.
Okay, so it all starts back in 2018. Okay, so I was hanging out with my friend Dylan. He's now known as Some Guy. He has over 200 subscribers. Both of his Instagram and Discord links are broken now. Okay, so back in 2018, around November, we made a Mario plush series. I asked him if we could do it, and he said yeah. So we made a Mario plush video about a fake Mario. And then like a few months later in May 2019, we made another one, but I can't remember the plot. And then in late 2019 we made another one. So then it goes to 2020 when my friends decide to call me up and make like a thing where Dogman meets the Mario characters with their plushes. It was basically the same as my friend Dylan's, but just a little bit different. And then we also made Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. So then in 2021, I saw Karen's video on the first anniversary of my computer's manufacturing date. Fun fact. And I actually really liked it. And so it basically continued on to Kyron's story. If Eric was here, he'd tell you that he misses the bully Sonic a lot from Lefty's Detention, and he wants him to come back.
Yeah, that was actually a fun fact. So, I don't know if many people have watched the prequel to Dat Hunting, which is Lefty's Detention, but if you rewatch it, there's a bully, and it's Sonic. And the way the plot went was, this was when Lefty was a child, and the other puppet was, for say, Puppet's dad, who left him for the orphanage. That was actually a spoiler to our new comical episode that we're actually making at the moment.
Okay,
I'll stop. You can continue.
Okay, I can make a teaser. Okay, I'll tease something called Operation Mask, coming out February 4th. Absolutely giving no plot details. Okay, let's go into the Dat Hunting part.
Okay, perfect. That was actually a really fun thing, but the thing I was going to get to is the bully Sonic turns over and becomes the Patrick that we see in Dat Hunting. The way that we wanted to plan it was we didn't originally plan on making Lefty's Detention and Dat Hunting to connect until late part 2, when we were just getting it out. And we didn't want to delete both videos, because the way this was that this is all supposed to take place in a 3-day time span. And the thing is
okay,
that,
I'll explain the 3D time span. You can say something else after this.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so part 1 takes place on August 2nd, and part 2, when before they go to sleep, also takes place on August 2nd, and then August 3rd, the entirety of part 2 and the rest of part 2 and part 3 take place, and then the first half of and then the first half of the first 20 minutes of part 4 before Sonic and Tails go to sleep takes place on that day, and then on August 4th, the rest of Dad Hunting part 4 takes place.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that was that when we were filming, we started filming this back in August on the original due date. But then it got pushed back, and then we continued in, was it October? October, November, December.
For what?
Dad Hunting, each episode. We
Yeah.
skipped September because that's... fun fact, that was actually where my birthday was, and we were planning my party, so...
Yeah. I was actually planning the original version of part 2 to come out in September.
Yeah, but we didn't do it because I was already feeling a bit overworked from other projects that I was doing. And that got scrapped eventually. And then I uploaded some other editing videos. And, and another thing is, I feel like that, the thing is that when we were originally filming Dad Hunting, the reason everything's broke up on my channel is for some reason, Gaming Will, he cannot upload videos to my channel longer than 13 minutes. So we didn't decide to put part 4 on there, it's known as a movie. So we decided to just put it on as a full movie on his channel. So if you want to do that, his channel link is in the description.
Okay, let's get back to the development of Dad Hunting Part 1. Okay, so the day was August 1st, 2022. You can explain from now on, Karen, because I barely remember it.
Okay, so what happened was I was bored and my mom had to go out of town. And I didn't really want to go with my father at the moment, so I was calling around trying to do something about it. And I called William, he was free, so we decided to have a sleepover that night. And I remembered that we haven't done a sleepover since part 2 of Lefty's Detention, so we decided to gather up some plushies and start doing it. And we done it, and we filmed it outside, and we had a great time. He filmed it, edited it, we got it over with. And after that, we realized... Okay.
Fun fact, in a very early version of part 1, Sonic was actually originally going to have a text-to-speech voice, but I scrapped it because it sounded too weird and a bit too old for his character.
Doesn't look like I care!
Yeah, and another thing I don't think any of you guys have heard my original voice, because I don't know if you know this, but I actually voice a lot of the characters, but there's either I do different voices or I do different character voices, or he'll lower or higher the voices. Like, the original voice actor of Aang, we had him for part 3, and part 4, he was ready, he came over, everything was ready, he filmed a few scenes, then he felt tired, so he left. And so up to the point where Aang eats a coffee crisp, that was him, but after that, the rest of the filming was me. And in the original script, our buddy Eric, he was not supposed to be in the script at all. But then we realized that there's too many characters for us all to play, just for me and Gaming Wheel.
Yeah.
So, we decided it was just as well to get him on the job, and that night I was actually having a sleepover with him anyway. So, we all got together, and we went over, and we got over to William's house, and we filmed, we went to the store, and we relaxed, played some games, and we finished filming. We watched a bit of part 4, we enjoyed it, and then we left, and
okay.
That was a good part.
Let's talk about part 2, even though you talked about part 4, but that's a bit weird. Okay, so the day was October 9th, 2022. Wait, I forgot to mention the original part 2 storyboards. Okay, the day that Dad Hunting Part 1 released, I decided to do an animatic for my version or cut of part 2, and it followed the plot of the dads actually kidnapping the kids and bringing them and destroying their electronics. It ends with them hinting the senior emeralds, which I brought back in part 4. And actually, when I showed him Karen the animatic, he was actually beyond impressed and he loved it.
Yeah, and the thing was when we were filming part 2, we wanted to add some new characters, and we didn't really know what to do too much. So, and I remembered how I had a puppet, and so we brought him into the scenes, and he became a main character. And so far, at our public school, it seems like a lot of people actually like him, the people who've watched the videos. So, it was actually a pretty good thing that we added him, in my opinion. Do you think that, Gaming Will?
Yes, I actually do. Okay, so then we filmed the actual part 2. So his mom decided to drive us to the park, and I brought all the plushes, even SpongeBob and Yoshi, who went unused in part 2. And then I had no idea what he was going to film, but he started off with this brand new character who he never got introduced to, riding on his motorcycle.
And the funny thing was that the way that everything was made was like, I don't know how to explain this. So I'm going to just recap the part 1 for you real quick. If you want to know why in part 2, 3, and 4, we see that in part 1 Goomba's talking normal. It's because he was fine, but then once Luigi threw him and he smacked his head, Gaming Will said that it basically reset his age. So he now acts like a baby. So now, like, he says, like, that's why he says Oompa Loompa.
Can you say it again?
Oompa Loompa.
Do you still like drinking beer?
Oompa Loompa.
Oompa Loompa.
Oompa Loompa.
I don't care, Oompa Loompa the Goomba.
Oompa Loompa. Oompa Loompa.
Okay.
Yeah, and just a quick fact, in part 4, if you've watched it already, you probably noticed that in every episode we had Goomba, and then part 4 he wasn't. Gaming Will actually lost his plush.
He was actually playing for the part 4, for the part 4 script. He was actually gonna play a part where the dads would actually use body snatching and body snatch his body and start beating up the kids.
Yeah, but he lost it. And luckily, actually, I got some Christmas gifts today from my family because some of my extra family didn't give me any gifts right away. And I actually got a new Goomba plush that actually looks like he could be older for, no spoilers, but he looks like he could be older for Operation Mask.
It takes 4 years later.
Which I think is a pretty good teaser to that.
At the end, I could make a teaser poster for Operation Mask.
And the thing is that for Operation Mask, we didn't know what to do, and I was actually supposed to order a plush for it, and I blew all my money at Walmart today buying Legos because I decided to get the Lego Luigi starter pack because my sister got Peach and I also got Mario, so I decided to round up the gang, and so I get my next allowance on Saturday, so I guess I'm gonna use that then.
Okay, so then in late October, I began on doing part 3. I did an unfinished storyboard that I didn't even tell you about.
Oh really? I never knew that.
Yes, and it wasn't finished.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is actually surprising, because almost every storyboard, you try to make sure they're finished before we actually do it.
Part 4 is actually part 4, and technically part 1 is the only ones I didn't do a storyboard for.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least worked on. Okay.
Part 4 was mostly me scripting it.
Yeah.
For most of the actual writing, we had William do it, and I was just drafting a bit of ideas. But for part 4... And I'm not doing any spoilers, but for Operation Mask, I'm also doing a nice bit of the script. But for part 4, we originally had it. I read a novel last year. It was about Stampy's Lovely World. We decided that we were going to add it, and it was going to be like a cool thing where Barnaby and Stampy would come in. But then we decided that I couldn't really do that because I had none of the plushies. So we decided to scrap that idea, and then we went on over to that, and we actually originally had part 5 to be the movie, and the Secret Wars being a whole-length movie, but I don't know. I felt like me and William decided that it would have been just better to decide of making it one part 4, and then starting a new series.
Okay. in November 11th, Karen called me to his house. I ate a banana. That's all I ate, because I wanted to come over really fast. So, I came over to his house, and we started filming part 3. I actually had no idea that Anthony was going to be there.
Yeah, so what happened was we were actually filming on Remembrance Day, and what happened was I was over at his house for the night, and we were there, and I didn't want to leave him early because I had to go early, and he wanted to hang out. So we made the deal that he'd come over and we'd see what William thinks about it, and he decided that he liked the idea of having an extra character, so he became the official voice of Aang for a little while.
Yeah. Originally, I was actually going to voice Aang before Anthony showed up.
But one thing I've noticed was I think it was better that he was voicing Aang.
Yeah.
He gave Aang like a lot of opportunity.
I'm really bad at cloning Anthony's voice.
I can actually do it pretty good, though. This sounds like Aang.
And here's a voice clip from Anthony.
I have this app on my phone, and it's called a tracker.
Okay.
It actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
And a fun fact was, at the beginning, before there were so many characters, I was actually voicing all the dads.
Yes.
I was voicing all the dads. I was also voicing, like, Goomba, Yoshi.
Sussy Baka.
Yeah, Sussy Baka as well. Who else was I voicing? There wasn't as many characters, but, like, I don't know.
I was voicing only, like, Sonic and SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get back on part 3. Okay, so the wars were actually supposed to begin in part 3 in the original like script, but then not to be rude, Karen decided that he wanted to like kind of rush it because he really wanted to play in his Oculus.
Yeah, that was like the thing was that I had it, but I didn't have many games. Mm-hmm. And I got some new games, and that day we had it planned for filming, but I wasn't like mentally prepared to start filming a bunch of stuff that day. So I decided to like try to rush part 3, and a lot of people say it's the worst one, and I can agree on that. And if we ever actually do go back to redo the story of dad hunting, we're gonna have to redo it, and we're gonna have to make that episode better.
Yeah. We actually could like try to do it like the part 2 storyboards, just to include like Puppet and Tails in a way.
Yeah, and the thing is that back in part 4 we were actually supposed to see Puppet's backstory.
Yeah.
But it got scrapped because we were scared that it was going to be too long. And so we scrapped it and we decided it would be a separate episode, which I do not know when it's going to be released, but I know it's coming. Not been filmed yet, but we know it's coming.
Yes, it's coming pretty... Sorry, Conscience, but... Okay, let's get back on track.
Yeah.
So I finished editing part 3 in only 5 hours, which is kind of insane for an episode that's even longer than part 2.
Agreed, and it took part 2 like a week.
Yes, because I actually wait for a release date. Part 1 was like done on like August 5th, and part 2 was done on like the day that it came out, because it was kind of delayed. Yeah,
what happened was the day we were filming it was supposed to come out, because we got everything delayed because a bunch of stuff happened, and so we filmed, and it was late when we got back. It was pitch black, so we filmed some scenes, and then I was too tired to do anything else, so we decided to call it a night and wait till the next morning, and the next morning we filmed the rest, and actually, I've actually asked people before part 4 came out. They said part 2 was the best one.
Yes.
And part 1 was their second favorite.
Yeah. Have they had any opinions on part 4?
No, I've actually not seen anyone who seen part 4, because part 4 was released the day we got out of school, so
yeah,
we've not talked to anyone from school. And funny story, I do not know this man well, but Gaming Will does. There's been this man, and since part 2 came out, he's been saying that he's going to hack his IP address and everything. And he was mad because we were writing the storyboards one day during lunchtime. And he showed up and we told him that he's not being scripted as Puppet. He's told us that he was going to hack the IP address, get all the files and leak everything online. But he never did do it, so at least it didn't happen.
He'd probably be the first one, other than like the five of like the creators of it, to actually like, if he ever managed to successfully do it, he'd probably be the first one to see part 4.
Yeah, but luckily part 4 is released out now, and he don't know and he never even knew that how to hack in and do it. So.
And he's been gone for like 2 weeks.
Oh, how come? I wonder.
Probably because he was gone on vacation.
Where's he gone?
I have no idea.
Probably Toronto or something.
Yes.
He probably has family up in Toronto or in Mexico or something. Maybe he might be anywhere.
Yes.
States, anywhere.
Okay. So, let's get back on schedule.
Agreed.
So part 3 had a bad reputation, and a lot of the creators said it was bad.
Yeah, even after the first time I watched it, it felt good at the beginning because I was fresh, ready to go. So up to the point where they got to the part where they done the ritual to bring back Patrick, it was good. But after that, it kind of like it felt rushed and not finished.
Yes.
And the scenes where we had Mr. Yoda, it felt like it was finished, but almost not finished at the same time. The way we done it, I don't know.
Yeah, I actually knew it was gonna be bad basically halfway through filming.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to part 4. Okay, the day was December 3rd, 2022.
Fun fact, actually. That was the day of the Christmas parade that we actually went to before filming.
Yep.
Because normally we film around, we get ready and we normally meet up at 10 a.m. and we film. But known as the Christmas parade was then, it got backlashed until about 11:30-ish.
Yeah.
Which really messed up our schedule on filming. So we didn't rush it. But normally our video time takes about an hour of filming. But the way our delay was, and we didn't actually take any breaks during part 4. We took one break.
But that was an hour break.
Yeah, because I was cooking my dinner because I didn't eat anything that day.
Yes.
So we done that, and we got it finished. And it was 3 p.m. and it was pretty dark out. And we were gonna film the Secret Wars, but then we realized we can't really go outside, and all of our characters have already been used, and all of our locations that we can have access to at the moment are filled. So we decided that we'll wait. So it was about December 9th, and we went to Gaming Mold's house, and we filmed in the basement.
It was December 10th, and the trailer came out December 9th. When the trailer came out, it was actually B-roll footage, and the war was actually not yet filmed.
Yeah, and so we got that done, and we filmed, and Eric came with us, and Eric helped us out a lot.
Yeah, and before we started filming the war, we also did a screening. Yeah. And you saw halfway through production of it.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. I was liking it, and it was better than part 3.
Yeah.
For sure, on a long run.
Yeah.
Out of all the parts, part 2 and part 4 are probably my favorites.
Yeah.
Part 1 didn't feel rushed, but it was not edited enough almost.
Yeah.
It was mostly just raw footage with a few editing techniques in it.
Yeah.
But then for part 2, it got edited not too much, but it was edited enough so it wasn't overwhelming. And fun fact, we actually don't write scripts. We write our ideas and write a plot, and then we make up our scripts on spot. At the moment, we're not even looking on anything. We just decided to do a podcast, and we're sitting down. I'm building Legos. He's just chilling, and we're talking.
Yeah.
And this is actually a pretty good idea. We should do more of this.
Yep. And then it was part 4 time. So, I jumped on my computer when you and Eric got home and started editing. Okay.
Yeah, and I got a text from him 3 a.m. of him sending me raw footage that was actually being edited at the moment.
Yes.
Which was actually really funny.
Yeah. So.
And fun fact, I was actually asleep, but Eric was still awake, so I kept my phone on because I was playing meme sounds for a joke, and he looked at the video and he thought it was cool and didn't say anything, and yeah.
Yeah. So on December 19th, 2022, Part 4 was officially finished. Done production.
Yeah, and I was begging, by the way, like I don't mean this like a joke. Like I was actually begging him to release it early, or at least let me see the video, because I was so upset because we filmed the scene where a puppet died, and I really wanted to see how it turned out. And there was a song that was actually based off of. It was called "Break the Cycle." If you want to know, link in the description.
Yeah.
And I wanted to add it to it, but the way it was made was that we couldn't add it because copyright reasons. So we decided to go ahead and William hopped on his PC and started, or not PC, more like a laptop.
And made an instrumental of it.
And it was actually a really good instrumental, and I enjoyed it.
The way I did it is using a website called vocalremover.org. Link in the description.
That's a pretty good thing.
Yep.
And by the way, this video is going to be posted on both of our channels. So link in the description is to both of our main channels and the podcast channels.
Yep. I have made a new profile picture. And now we have started work on Operation Mask.
Yep, we got a nice bit of the script done. It's not like a script. We're not saying what we're saying, and we're not 100% sure if we're going to have the plushes for this, but sneak peek. I don't know if I should say this because I don't want to make gaming real mad, but we got 2 new plushies already for the filming, if he knows who I'm talking about.
Yes. I know.
Can I say it?
30. I'll give you a hint. 30s. And that's it. Black and white 30s.
And it's from a game. That's all I'm saying. It's from a game.
Yes.
And we also teased, in some of the editing, there is some video clips and sound effects from that game.
Yes. You'll see it when Mario's fighting Donkey Kong.
Yep, and you will also see it at other scenes that I do not know.
Yep, you'll even see it in the previously on Death Hunting from Part 3 and Part 4. What? Okay. So we have officially finished filming Part 4, and everyone seems to love it, hopefully. So we are now going to make Operation Mask, and
another thing is that I feel bad for this kid who really wanted to join, so depending on Gaming Will, we might accept him to join the crew. Depending.
Yes. I actually do have him on Messenger.
Well, we might have to give him a ring sometime and see. Because
yeah.
It depends on what characters he can voice and how good he can sound them, and he got to be ready for our schedules.
Yes.
Per se, filming dates, everything. Because we normally actually produce the filming dates months in advance.
Yeah, and I'll give you a major hint too. The focus of Operation Mask is going to be, he's black. Sorry, I was racist, but he's black and red.
Yeah, fun fact actually. The person he's talking about, I'm not going to say too much more, but he is from, can I say it? What company he's from?
Sega.
He is from Sega.
Yep.
He was on the Sega Genesis, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he was actually on the Dreamcast in 2001.
Oh, my bad. And, fun fact, he is also going to be in the new Sonic movie.
Yes. And you kind of made it even more obvious.
And guys, I'm just saying, putting this out there, it is not Shadow. It is not Shadow.
It is definitely not Shadow.
It's not, literally. Remember?
Yeah.
We said it was going to be... we said it was going to be...
Oh.
Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that on live, was I? I was supposed to say this on live! I'm sorry, okay? Yeah, Amy's supposed to be in Sonic Movie 3. And I think he's going to hit me with the Patrick plush sooner or later.
Yeah. Okay.
Why are you putting your hand on there?
Time. Okay. One more thing. I'm going to be there in like 5 seconds. And I actually calculated that from the distance from his house to that park. And he would actually be there in 3.93 seconds. So he underestimated himself. So Sonic is actually really fast.
Yeah, and fun fact, for Puppet, originally, not originally, but the only thing on his voice, there is no voice changes or anything. All that's on his voice is a smoky mask effect.
Yeah, like an old radio effect. It's also used for the narrator.
Yeah, and I think it's a good idea, and I'm happy that Gaming Will came up with it, and we made an amazing series, and hopefully we can talk about this more sometime.
Yep. And now, that was the story of dad hunting and Lefty's Detention.
2 of our most growing videos on the channel. The most popular video on my channel is a video of Andrew Garfield, but out of my videos that aren't long, it's probably part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2 is the most popular.
And my most viewed short is called I Could Cut Jeep.
It goes, I like you cut G, I like you cut G, I like you cut G,
I like you cut G.
and it's Goomba.
And guess what, fellas? I still can't decide if I'm Russian
or Asian. I think I sound very Asian.
Dad!
You're Asian!
Yeah, Dad, you're Asian. You're so Asian. Oh,
Don't
God!
make me get the butter knife again, boy! Ah! Well, I guess that's the end of this podcast.
Okay.
I think this was a good podcast, and
Hey, Goomba, do you want to say something?
yeah, I like and subscribe, guys. What? Oh, wait, Oompa Loompa! Was that what I was supposed to say?